This episode brought to you by Shock Top, Ruby Fresh Grapefruit.
This is Hot Drop, where we bring you premier PUBG analysis, and as of this weekend, Xbox drops. I'm Dano.
And I'm Xbox Cody. Wait.
And let's
What?
get into it.
This is exciting. I love everything about this podcast, first and foremost. A year ago, 1 year ago, my friend Dano here said, "Hey, you know that podcast that I'm doing by myself?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "We're doing it together now." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, but first I got to send you a computer, and then you got to update it a bit, and then we're going to play the game, and then we're going to start recording together." And I was like, "What? That's pretty cool." And now I have you people listening, and you all bought me an Xbox.
That's pretty cool. That's
I love
probably
it.
the coolest thing that's happened on our podcast, hands down.
It's phenomenal. You guys are amazing. Everybody who has donated, everyone who has subbed, everybody who has contributed with their witty banter and their clips and their inclusivity and their pictures of their pets and their food. You guys are the real winners here. You have gotten me to a point where I can now connect with more of you on a different platform. I can't express to you how excited I am. My friend Dan is a sneaky bastard. My wife was in on it. I didn't know. I almost impulsively bought an Xbox with money I did not have.
It was so close. So what happened was, I've sort of convinced Cody for a while that we were going to just wait for the Twitch payout, which can be a couple months, to have the funds, because we didn't have technically the full amount until we got the payout. So I just decided that, you know what, I'm just gonna front the money out of my pocket. We'll get him something on eBay that's cheap. I'll stalk eBay, find a deal. Did it. Of course, Mr. eBay guy takes freaking like 2 weeks to ship. So I bought it at the 2 weeks into, what would it be, July. And finally it ships. And like the day before he's going to get it, so it was going to be arriving on Monday. The day before just a couple days before he's supposed to get it, I sent a message to his wife being like, I'm pretty sure he's going to buy an Xbox today, so you probably should stop that if possible, because I've already got it covered. It's done. It's coming Monday. I'm really mad about the guy who took forever to ship it, but please do not let Cody buy an Xbox. So she did her wifely duties and grabbed your wallet, held it away from you.
She did, actually. She took my wallet that day.
It was
not like I'm taking your wallet, but like, "Hey, I need your credit card." And I went, "All right, cool, whatever." And I didn't have, access to it because I don't save like my cards and stuff. I don't have them memorized. I don't use it. So like, she had it. I didn't buy it. Sheer
pulled
luck.
through. Yep. And then, she had you open it, recorded your reaction. We posted in the Discord if you guys want to see it. It all worked together, worked out so well. All of this just worked out so well. So
it was great. So I got a couple of games in. I got 2 kills, 4 deaths.
2 kills your very first game, or 2
not
kills?
my first. No. 2 games that night. Not 2 games my first game. We played 4 games, I think. I got that sweet ass kill on the road. It was like a car chase, and I got that kill, and then I got another one. I don't know, maybe like Pachinki or something like that with a pistol, and then I died immediately after. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited to play with you guys. Thank you again. And we got a great show for you, so let's hop into those.
Let's do it. So call the hotline, guys. Call it. You know what to do. 508-216-0006. Got some couple questions today. We got some things to play at the end, as always.
And
send us those questions.
My wife left Hotline Gold when we were recording last week, and it just missed the cut for this last week's episode. But you guys will be graced with my wife's Hotline Bling.
It's so good. So listen to that at the end. And also the top
I really hope Hotline
winner.
Bling isn't something inappropriate, because I don't know what the song sounds like still. It's not a sexual reference, is it?
Yeah, it kind of is, unfortunately.
The bling is?
Well, it's like, I think it's like my phone's lighting up, so that's the blinging. but I'm pretty sure it's like booty calls at 2 a.m. kind of thing.
No, okay, scratch that. No one gets to see that. You get to listen to into the hotline.
But that's technically what it's about. Anyway, it's just catchy. That background beat is so good. Top 10. Contest. Every week we run it in the Discord. You post your clips. We put them together. We choose a winner. Last week, it was Colonel Ping again for the reigning champ. 2 top 10 wins under his belt.
It was pretty cool.
This one, I firmly believe this was my favorite one so far. It was top 10 pickups, team saves, and it was the Dacia going the yard and a half to mow someone down against the wall. So good.
Wow. So congratulations, Colonel Ping. I don't know. Try and go for a third, I guess. I dare you. But we do have a new one for this week. And it is a little bit inspired by Colonel Ping's action adventure. Yeah. So send us your video of your most wow vehicle usage. So that could be kills. That could be you getting hit by a car. That could be doing sick jumps. It doesn't matter. There is no qualification. You just have to be in, around, or near a vehicle. And show us what you got. I'm sure you all have plenty out there. Do your best.
And with that,
we're going to the Xbox box. What's in the box? What do we got in the Xbox box?
We got a lot of stuff. There
is a lot of stuff, yeah.
We got some incorrect links in the show notes. We got that.
That's not an incorrect link.
This is the August weekly post that we covered last week. So there was that. You guys know all about that. But we got a hot fix.
No, this came out last Friday.
What?
Yeah, Dan.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Dan.
We covered this. We had to have covered this.
Still came out last Friday.
Oh, yeah. There's a weekly post. It's
That's why
new.
they call it weekly.
Oh god, I thought we covered this. Anyway, there was a hotfix. You guys heard about that. You've played with it. There's some analog.
Well, some
movements.
of you have played with it. Others of you have not because it broke your Xbox. However, they added some stuff which is pretty cool.
It is
to the analog movement. So they said, while the implementation of the new analog movement has been put in there, there's still a lot of work to be done. With analog movement, sprinting diagonally using the L stick became much more difficult. And so this is the very first thing I noticed in the game after the inventory. I went to run, and you guys told me that you had to hold down the left joystick, click. I started to run, and then I changed direction barely, and he stopped and he walked. And I went, what the fuck is going on here? And they addressed this. They said that they didn't anticipate for the same issue to happen, that the degree of running, the angle in which you were running would slow you down. So with that said, characters run at maximum speed when sprinting in a straight line, but when sprinting diagonally, the L stick were only 80% of the maximum. 80% window was much wider before the implementation of the analog movement and used approximately 45 degrees on each side for 80% sprinting speed. That wasn't the same. So in the analog movement, it was only about 20%. So you had 20 degrees. So it was pretty bad. So you went from 45 degrees to 20 degrees, and then you would slow down. So it was really difficult to control that while trying to run around with analog movement. Made it really bad because you couldn't zigzag, you couldn't run fast, you couldn't change directions quickly. However, they are increasing the angle for 80% speed to improve for the feel along with movement of making zigzag strategy easier. And then they tried to be funny. And they said, one thing that will be different is that when you try to change from sprinting direction rapidly in a wide angle, your character will momentarily slow down because in real life, you would break your tendons. Hardy har har.
Har har har.
Oh, PUBG.
Oh god.
It's so cool. I thought it was neat that I noticed that and was like, oh man, this kind of sucks for this game. And then it was the next day that I read the hotfix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only way around it when it was out, and it was being difficult was you could control the direction that you would be sprinting with your right stick. So that would just like turn you sort of left and right, but you couldn't like zigzag, change direction. So they made that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Other priorities. With the above issues being resolved in the next hotfix, we're focusing on fixing these main issues. Footsteps and vehicle sounds not being able to be heard sometimes. Desync, increasing frame rate across all Xbox versions, and not being able to drive vehicles sometimes. Thanks for your feedback. We'd be able to address these not nearly as fast without your reports. We appreciate your passion. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, PUBG Xbox team. That's August, week 1, community weekly post. And now we have, because it's now live, of course, in your pocket at all times, we've got the August 7th post. I don't know how that relates to being live, but we're always live with the latest information. Analog character movement again. With the previous hotfix, which introduced analog movement, sprinting diagonally using left stick was too difficult, as we just discussed. So to address this, they widened that angle of movement for sprinting diagonally. And
Are you reading the same thing we just went over?
No, this is August 7th. Maybe they copied and pasted. This is definitely a different thing.
You may continue.
Busted. And they're talking about tendons again. Yeah, okay, so they're making the same joke twice. All right. Could you just with that? We get it. Loading. Files have been repackaged to load more efficiently. And what this means for you is that you had to download an 11 gigabyte patch today to be able to play it on your Xbox.
Mine is currently downloading, and it sucks.
Yeah, it takes me... So I'm on Wi-Fi, but it still takes a really long time to download. I'm talking like 45 minutes plus to an hour. And I have fast internet, so I feel for you guys who don't have as fast of an internet. It's going to take you guys a really long time. But they say that this patch is big, but they are focusing on desync, sound issues, and, of course, fixing bugs. So that is something to look forward to, as always. So, Cody.
Daniel.
You got a couple rounds of Xbox in.
I did.
What is your reaction? How are you feeling about the game? How does it compare to PC? Are you completely lost? Are you figuring things out for the first time? What's it like? Give me some insight.
100%. So the very first thing that I felt completely lost in the first game. I jumped out of the plane and was like, oh, cool. This is easy. And then I landed and went, oh no, this is hard. I don't know the controls for an Xbox. I haven't owned an Xbox since 2011, and that was only for like 6 months. And then prior to that, it was 2005. Yeah, maybe 2006, maybe that I owned an OG Xbox. Yeah. So I'm used to PlayStation controls and now mouse and keyboard. And so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what the buttons did. I had to keep asking. Moving was just difficult, really, because PC for this game is just so ingrained in me that I kept reaching for my controller or my keyboard and my mouse. But by game 3, I was like, I know the basics of this. I can figure this out. Like when you loot things, it just attaches if it's better. Yeah. And that was great. That was awesome because it really helped me kind of adjust, and I got 2 kills. I got killed a lot. I wasn't very helpful in actual fights, but that'll come. Yeah. It's the haptic feedback was insane. I wasn't ready for it. I forgot that video games had that.
Yeah, that was the first thing you said to me. It was like, just took you by surprise.
Yep. The game is slower though.
It's very slower, very much slower. Do you know why that is? Do you have an idea of why it's slower?
Oh yeah, the amount of steps that you take to loot or reload or search or move around is at the very least twice as many steps. I hit tab and I'm in my inventory, and with my dominant hand I can select everything I want. In the Xbox, I have to get into the inventory, right bumper over to the section I want to, scroll down, and then hit the thing I want. All with 2 hands. When I could be doing something, I could be moving and doing whatever I wanted to with the other hand.
Right.
On the PC. So
Yeah, you have to completely stop moving and to
Yeah.
really work with your inventory on Xbox.
And the other thing that I noticed is that there were 4 vehicle kills in like the whole night when we probably get one a month.
I wonder why that was. That seemed to be a really high number for me, but I don't know. Maybe there's just more because it's slower to move around and slower to interact, and you can get caught with your pants down a little bit easier. Maybe that's just how the game is, a little bit more action in the vehicles.
Maybe not. I'm really excited to play more. I'm excited to kind of be well versed in both, so that one, we can be better, but also so that we can connect with everybody else a little bit differently, because you Xboxers out there are pretty awesome too. So
yeah,
it's just gonna be really cool to be able to do both things.
Yeah, exactly. We can get some community nights in once the custom games hit. Yeah, really excited about it. I played a couple of rounds with you guys as well. I had a really sweet win with my team. I forget who was on it. It was so long ago. I know Ray was in there. It was me. I honestly can't remember. I'm sorry. Mr. Suds maybe and someone else. I'm so sorry. I can't remember. But that was my best game ever. 6 kills. I was feeling really good. I was kind of useless in the end, but I was feeling it. It's a lot of fun.
My friend Dan can't remember the names. Mm-hmm. He's a bad friend and a bad hot dropper in chief.
Confirmed. All right. Now that I've forgotten and alienated our Xbox group, let's talk about a gameplay tip. So, from Point Click Dead, who is very active in the tip section with his points. He's
never heard of him.
What's that? You kind of cut out there just a little bit.
Point Click Dead, never heard of him.
Always dropping those hot, fresh tips. Some are real tips, some are not so fresh. More like fake tips, but that's okay. We like them all. He says, if you don't like the bolt action sniper rifles, I suggest use them more. Pull your socks up, like Deathcoat Betty says. Drop your DMRs for them, learn them, because if you master a bolt action, you will get better with the semi. Also, a shot to the head with any of the bolt actions is an immediate knock with level 2 or below helmets. And only like 4 people in a game will ever get level 3 helmets, so that's roughly 92 people in your game you can instantly knock. And also, and I will add, if you use the SKS or SLR, it's actually pretty quick to down someone too if you get a headshot. However, you have to follow it up with a body shot.
You have
to. Finish it off. You
cannot get a limb shot and expect to down them at that point. But that is a really great gameplay tip. I implemented that a long time ago because John was so good at the Car 98. I started to pick him up. You guys allowed me to pick him up, and I feel super confident with a Car 98 these days. I feel like I've gotten some of my. I think I got some of my coolest kills with that, and because of that, spraying on the M4 and the M16 have gotten a lot easier as well.
Good point. I like that. Yeah, it's like use the stuff you're not comfortable with, because there's going to be situations where you only can use that one thing and you will not want to. But if you have experience with a wide variety of weapons, you're going to be in a lot better position and a more well-rounded player. Good tip there. And also keeping with the theme of Point Click Dead's tips, he says if you want the latest information out of the Xbox arena for PUBG, check out the channel Lunar Gaming on YouTube. So this guy watches all of the live streams that the executive producer Nico over at Microsoft puts out, and these all outline what is coming up next. So the latest one gave a couple details about what to expect. Cody, do you want to take those?
No.
Okay. That's it for Hot Drop. Thanks for listening.
Apparently, test server is coming this weekend. We don't know the details yet. Maybe war mode.
Maybe not. Maybe
we don't really know. This is all speculation.
Yeah, it's all speculation.
We really have no idea. Dynamic weather is coming soon, though. We do know that. Apparently, achievements will also be retroactive. I know nothing about achievements because I just got an Xbox 2 days ago. So, good job, everyone, on your achievements.
Well, there aren't any yet, technically.
They're going to be retroactive.
So what this is are all the achievements we already have on Steam, probably. I doubt there's going to be a whole lot of different.
Do you think that they're going to change them, though? Because it's easier to do certain things on that.
Maybe.
They're gonna have to look at the data because that's what they did for the PC version. They looked at the data before they came up with the achievements. The performance ones, not the ones like silence all your weapons, not that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so a couple of those are kill 200 players with a shotgun, a submachine, and or pistol. Kill 50 players with a shotgun, submachine, or pistol. So like there's a novice, expert, and master level of that. Reach the top 10 without killing anyone. Kill 100 players with an assault rifle from over 100 meters away. Kill 10 players with grenades. Kill 100 players by any means. So there's a lot of like really basic stuff in here. And so if they do introduce a lot of these, you're going to already check them off as soon as they implement them. You won't have to redo them if you've been playing all along so far, which you guys probably have.
Yes, good.
Boom.
What else do we have on here, though?
Skins are coming. We know that. It's in the backlog for them to implement. These are the weapon skins and, of course, more clothing skins. Custom controller layouts are also coming soon at some point. They know that there's some issues with the wide variety of buttons and the difficulty of figuring out what the heck you should be pushing, like Cody experienced.
It's real bad.
So to be able to remap that is just going to be really nice. They said they're not sure if they're going to implement map selection. I don't understand this at all. Why is this such a hard thing?
They don't want people to not play. Okay, so first of all, there's probably a smaller player base on the Xbox.
I don't have numbers. I don't think Microsoft publishes it, but
maybe not. It doesn't seem to be as scratch that. Don't put this in the podcast.
Oh, we're putting it in the podcast.
I don't have a real firm thought here.
Well, so my firm thought is
it's
like
mushy. No, it's mushy. It's mushy. It's like mushy minted peas.
Are you gaslamping me? Telling me what my thoughts are?
You honey dicking me?
Minted peas. Minted peas. Disgusting. Horrific. All you people are wrong. Visit the Discord to know what we're talking about. Ping-based matchmaking is in the early phases of discussion. They have this on PC, or they're at least implementing it on PC, and they're talking about doing the same for Xbox. This means you'll still be able to play with your friends because it's not like a region lock or anything, because we do have a lot of people in the UK playing on NA servers because we have NA homies out here. And yeah, I mean, like it's just a way, if you're playing on your home turf and your home server, that you'll be matched with people who have similar ping that you do. So that is Lunar Gaming's channel. Check him out. Thank you, Point Click Dead, for that. And I think we're on to Q&A now.
Moving on to the question and answer portion of this podcast. We're talking about video games and singing songs about the podcast that's about the video games.
Encore.
Cody and Dan, we're doing stuff here. Dan's definitely not getting annoyed at Cody.
Yeah.
Annoyed at Cody.
Colonel Ping.
Annoyed at Cody.
Hello, Hot Drop. It's Colonel Ping. Two things. I'm playing with D Biggs and Jared Biggs right now. I've been at a wedding all day. It's been good fun. It was hot. There was quite a lot of free booze. I'm trying to play some PUBG. Scale speeder. Apologies to you, sir, because I was driving and chatting a lot of nonsense. Steve Biggs, massive apologies to you. My question is, though, when you call the hot drop, why does it say leave a message in 7? What does 7 mean? Where's the 6 and the 5 and the 4 and the 3 and the 2 and the 1 and then go leave a message? It's just a minor thing, but something to consider. Anyway, props to everybody in the Discord through Hot Drop. It's cracking, it's great fun, it's a good laugh. And I just have one thing to say. It's turtle time. If you haven't seen Jingle All the Way, it's a cracking Christmas movie, as is Die Hard. See you guys.
Why
Back-
does it leave a message in 7?
Well, Colonel Ping, I don't remember the exact day it happened, but one of us would drop or start to count down from 7 for whatever reason. I think you started to count down from 7,
So
and then you jumped.
yeah, so we were in the plane and we were following the plane path and we marked a spot on the map, and like I was trying to be cutesy and say like we need to jump in about 7 seconds, or because the plane was about 7 seconds away from when we need to jump. So I started counting down from 7 for some reason, and then everyone thought that was hilarious. So then it stuck, and then every single time we jump out of the plane now, we always say, and 7, and then jump at the same time. That's where it came from. I don't know. It was a stupid joke, but
So much.
stuck.
No, it's good.
I don't know.
I bet it's probably somewhere in the archives of Twitch somewhere.
it has to be. Yeah, we got to dig deep for that. And now the next question. Roll it.
All right. Well, first off, I do apologize for calling you from the job site. It may get loud, may not, who knows. But all right. So I just want to get y'all's opinion on something. You know, what y'all think of this? Because I kind of feel, I don't know. I kind of feel like a bad guy, even though maybe I should. I don't know. But I had a conversation. I commented in Discord this week about just what it would be like if, you know, there were features to play with somebody, you know, automatically invite them to Discord. You know, I was just wondering how y'all would feel, you know, because, I mean, it would have its pros and its cons, you know, how y'all would feel about if you can invite random people that you just meet playing PUBG into Discord. My take on it was, you know, we have a pretty damn good community right now, you know, it's all people that listen, you know, everybody's polite and everything. You know, again, it has its pros and its cons, ups and downs, both sides of randomness, you know, finding random people. Just wondering what y'all's take of people not, you know, listening to the podcast and being involved in, you know, Discord. How do y'all feel about that? You know, again, if it, eventually, I'm thinking, you know, you might find somebody toxic. Nobody in the Discord currently is toxic. You know, I enjoy good banter, you know, sarcasm, jokes, you know, a bunch of busting balls, all that stuff. But yeah, you know, eventually if you find somebody good, you know, they're cool, they'll get in Discord, and then they'll invite their friend in Discord, and then they'll invite a friend. You know, Discord will grow, but at the same time, you can find somebody toxic involved in all of that, you know, and somebody that, you know, is like, oh, they're just going to start lashing out at some point. You know, I mean, there's other random Discords for that. Again, I just wonder what y'all's take on that was. You know, again, I'm not trying to sound like a dick or anything like that, because I don't think it really doesn't matter, but, you know, as far as just the core group that we have, you know, I think is awesome, you know, because we all come and we're based together off of this one thing. I don't know. Let me know what you think.
So, interesting question. Talking about a button to invite people to Discord. Superchamp's point here is he likes the tight-knit community we have, and it's composed of people who are comprised of people who listen to the podcast, and that there are other Discords where people can find games and play with others that way. Interesting thought to sort of keep us like tight-knit and everything, but honestly, I'm like open the doors to whoever. Like everyone is invited, everyone is free to chill, everyone is free to hang out. We actually got a couple cool people just from playing the original war modes that had that 10 player count teams, where we just said, hey, 5 of us are in Discord, and if you want to join and be able to talk to us easier, like hit this up. And a couple people joined and a couple people stayed, and maybe they listen to the podcast now because of that. I don't know, but maybe they do. So yeah, my philosophy is the more the merrier.
Yeah. If it gets to be to a point where the Discord is just too much to keep up on and you want to be engaged, we can look at different rooms that specify different chats. But I think right now we're actually in a really good place. I think we kind of hover a little over like 250 people in our Discord, and probably 30, 40 of you are like actually active in it. Some obviously more than others. I think we have a group of 15 people that are just all out, like we're in here all day and you guys are our rock stars, and everybody else, like, we want you to engage, we want you to participate.
Yeah,
we promote a really good community, so let's stick to it and let's grow together. I think that a lot of you are really good at self-policing. You're really good at like standing up for each other and like playing with each other and learning about each other's lives and families and pets and hobbies and all that other stuff. So let's just keep that going. Let's keep growing that.
It's so cool. You guys have some of the cutest dogs and cats, I gotta say. Gorgeous pets. Beautiful.
And estates. Don't forget of all of our estates.
Yes, of course. The rolling greens. Yeah, like, what was I going to say? I don't know. It's just a really fun community. I think we when you started to say we hover, I was going to say we sort of hover around the hot banter section because that's sort of like the gathering place. But I'm not really ready to break that off yet. I feel like that's a good spot to be in. Then we have the other rooms where you can sort of share your other hobbies and stuff. Oh, what I was going to say is if you guys ever stream, please post it. Post it in the self-promo section.
Yeah,
I want to watch you guys play. And like you've seen me many, many times post, hey, is anyone streaming? Like I want to be involved. I want to see what you guys are doing. I want to get to know you guys. I want to watch some PUBG while I eat dinner. Post it up every single time you get. And if you're new to streaming or hesitant about streaming, you don't have to show your camera. That doesn't bother me at all. I just like to hear what you guys have to say. And if you can please also ask your squad mates to enable their voice chat so we can hear everyone in the squad. It makes for a much better watch.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
We're done with the Xbox. We already finished that, actually.
Yeah, we did. Personal computer place.
Roll it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll follow me, we are now entering the personal computer place.
Big stuff this week. Cody,
Oh my
I'm just going to
God.
have you take it away because I'm too hyped to even focus.
So, listen, the patch we went over last week, they moved it to live, all right? So we went over, what was the date from last week that we recorded? The 1st. So since then, we've had 2 updates on that exact same patch. So I will quickly run over those before we get to the awesome news. Let me find it. Hold on. Okay, so update number 2 was on the 3rd of August. The bug fixes were they fixed an issue to prevent players from changing the red dot reticle when using an SMG, and they fixed an issue where throwables could pass through character models. Great, wonderful. They made a bunch of optimizations also. So they lowered the burden on the GPU. Attachment related rendering resources were improved. They optimized the fog so it increased performance. Previously, 2 separate fog effects were used for the overall effect. They've now been merged together for a smoother process. And they optimized grass assets to reduce memory resources used to improve performance. Great, cool.
Awesome.
There was another one on the 7th that was they fixed an issue where the voice chatting UI would always be displayed when the killer spectating function under certain conditions. Cool. They fixed an issue where the player character would perform jump motion for a short time when crouch key is rapidly pressed multiple times. So like a squatting jump?
I guess. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
All right. I didn't notice that.
Neither did I.
They fixed an issue where the reticle settings would be reset when the weapon is dropped and picked up again. I did notice that. Glad to see that's fixed. They fixed an issue where replay-related text would be shown and report player UI after being killed. Fixed an issue where the spectating camera would look through a character when the game finishes.
I've had that.
And reduced the chance of players encountering situations where opponents' weapons float in the air, which that wasn't just opponents. That was your teammates as well.
Yeah.
So I would come up over a hill and Zach Barr's guns would be there and it would scare the hell out of me.
I have had it seen with opponents too. I noticed that last time we played just once, but it's more often your teammates because you're closer to them, obviously.
And so the large part of this update is that they did not put in the 3D map markers for this live server. All right.
Yes.
They said they were going to do it. We said we were on board. They apparently in the test server thought that it got into the way of gunfights. So they are rearranging how they can implement this 3D marker so it doesn't interfere with gunplay.
Exactly.
I didn't get to experience it because we couldn't get on.
Yeah, we couldn't load into a game because there was like a 50-minute matchmaking timer when I tried to boot it up. But yeah, I mean, this was probably, like we said, one of the most talked about and controversial additions to PUBG in a very long time. It seemed totally 50-50 across the community. People loved it and some people hated it.
I mean, Bluehole and PUBG have doubled down on it, saying that it's going to happen. There's no going back. So
they're going to tweak it. So they announced a quick update regarding that. They said they wanted to, make it known what we're doing here. They said they implemented a change to the marker system, which obviously allowed people to easily place a 3D marker without opening the map. Their intention was to make marking easier while supplementing callouts and communication during fights. They say they had lengthy discussions regarding the system, talking about how it affected gunplay, and they came to the conclusion that the new system needs more tuning before it is ready for live. So for once, they used the test server as it was supposed to be. Not saying they were right or wrong here. I'm just saying that they implemented it. They did what they said they were going to do, and then they decided, nope, it's not ready. We're going to pull it back. And like, when have we ever seen them do that? It's always like push to live and fix it later. So they used the test server the way it was meant to be. They removed the 3D markers, and they will not be included in this patch. They're going to make some adjustments to the marker system to minimize its effect on gunplay, and they will be putting a revised version back on the test servers soon for another round. So what I think they're probably going to do, and it seems like the consensus across our Discord also, is they're probably going to make it so you can click an area on the map to mark it, but the mark won't appear in your field of view. It'll just appear on the map. That's my guess.
Probably.
I think that's
unless
a good
they
compromise.
make it. The closer you get to it, maybe they make it more transparent.
Yeah, maybe it's a distance thing where like you can't see it past like 50 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
That could be a good compromise as well. So we'll see what they come up with. Expect it on the test server very soon. But for now, it's gone. It's no longer in the game.
Go.
Boom. Fix your game. Fix it.
Fix
Come on,
it.
fixed.
Identify the problem.
Fix
Fix it.
Fix it.
Identify another problem. Fix it.
That's what they
fixing?
say. We're fixing the game. We're fixing PUBG.
Fixing the game. Yeah. So here's some freaking sweet news. Fix the game, quote unquote. This is the phrase that we've been using and hearing a lot lately. Since we released PUBG as an early access game last year, the game has grown exponentially, and we've been fortunate enough to have millions of incredibly passionate players like you. However, we haven't always been able to meet your expectations. Simply put, the game still has many unresolved issues.
It's true.
The bottom line is,
So true.
you are the reason for our success.
Oh, thanks.
You stuck with us.
Yeah, I did.
And now, it's time for us to deliver the fixes you've been asking for.
Hey.
That's why today we are announcing a new campaign called FIX PUBG.
Oh.
For the duration of the campaign, we'll be entirely focused on addressing problems with the game, including bugs,
Yeah.
long-needed quality of life improvements,
Oh.
and fundamental performance improvements.
Lovely.
Throughout this campaign, we'll share specifics about what we're working on and the expected time it'll take to address these issues. We'll deliver on our promises.
Well, that remains to be seen. But I hope so.
PUBG. Vote PUBG. So the long and short of this is they've launched a website. This website is fix.pubg.com.
I love it.
If you go to fix.pubg.com, you get a neat little flash animation that says, "What is Fix PUBG? Fix the game." They repeat the exact same thing that we saw, but they give us a roadmap that talks about what they are going to be doing through August, September, and October of this year for both the PC and the Xbox.
Yes. A lot more information on the PC side, but we do have some information for Xbox.
However, so if you go onto this, they have gray, orange, dark gray, and yellow markers that go across, and it doesn't make sense because they don't tell you why they're the colors that they are. However,
I noticed that too.
if we are covering this, you go to the roadmap and it tells you, like, for client performance through August, September, and October, they are working on character optimization. August to September, effect optimization. August, level streaming optimization. So they are telling us the timetable that it's going to be for each of these things. Server performance, optimization based on server profiling, network code optimization runs through October. Replication interleaving runs through August. Character movement, parachute movement, airplane sequence optimization is all of September. Anti-cheat pretty much runs the rest of through fall, except for the report result notification system. They're trying to make things faster with matchmaking. And they have a ridiculous amount of bug fixes if you go
Yeah.
to the fix log.
Yeah, you can see everything they've done so far. They talk about reducing the frame rate hitches when you drop below 60 frames and you get some kind of stuttering action happening. They're in progress there. There's just so much here. We can't read off the entire thing because there's just so much. But it really gives you a good idea and a good insight with some graphs and some cool animations about what they're really working on. It's so good to see this transparency. There's a lot here.
What we are going to take away from this is, well, we are also going to give you the updates. We're going to go in here on a weekly basis and in the Discord as often as we can to give you guys the updates on the things that we know have changed. Because I think what they're essentially doing here is they're going to give us, these patches once a month, but they are not going to announce via developer letters and things like that. They're going to go right to this website now, I believe, update it, and let us know so that they are not constantly pushing PR after PR after PR release out to us. They're saying, go to this website. This is our campaign. This is how we are being transparent, and go from there. So this is going to be our up, quasi live update of what they're doing.
Yep. And the goal at the end of the day is to get PUBG to be a better, more stable, and fairer game, is what they say. I mean, as awesome as this is, I'm kind of bummed that this is basically saying we're not going to see any crazy new features for the next 3 months. So
Yeah,
that's the what is it? The poop lining? It's not the silver lining. It's the poopy lining.
Here's the thing, though. I bet you right after October and early November, we're getting a winter map.
Yeah, for sure. And
they're going to cross off 80 to 90% of this list, and then they're going to come out and say, look what we've done. Here's your map. Enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And that's true. I mean, if you look at October, so let's look at September. By the end of September, everything will be done, which leaves October only has us character optimization, server profiling, network code, anti-cheat, which is always happening, faster matchmaking, and bug fixes for October. So a lot of this stuff really will be done by the end of September, which leaves October open for potentially more features and a new map.
Yeah.
Boom.
So keep an eye out. We're going to keep you guys informed.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool infographics on the site, fix.pubg.com. And I love how they're calling it what it is. They know the game is broken. They're being very transparent. And I was thinking today, actually, like, there's kind of a downside to being very transparent, because it, like, for the people who already hate this game or, like, love hating on it, it just gives them more ammo to say, oh, look at all this stuff that's broken.
Yep.
But, I mean, that's not a good mindset. I'm just saying, like, for the trolls who love to complain, being really transparent sometimes makes you more vulnerable, because you're sort of showing everyone that you recognize how many things are wrong. But what they're trying to do is be upfront with us and tell us, like, this is broken and we're doing something about it. And that is pretty damn refreshing, I got to say.
Agreed. Get out of my personal computer, place.
And into my car.
Mobile home.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep. The Chinese version has night mode and night vision now. How cool is that?
That's
so here's the
cool.
thing, though. I don't want it on the PC game or the Xbox game. I don't think it's needed. I think it would be a cool feature maybe once in a while, but, like, I don't really want it. I think that becomes too much.
Interesting take. I like that. Hot take. You know what? What it doesn't do is it really doesn't add much to the game.
Right.
If I might jump on your bandwagon of your thought there. Like, it just...
Please.
It just doesn't. Like, it's just a different coloring. You can't see people very well. People who have night vision have 1,000,000% advantage over you. And the night vision actually looks super powerful. So there's a screenshot on their website, on the Reddit website, Reddit threads, showing what the night vision looks like. And it's just a green tint to a dark screen. Exactly what you'd expect night vision to be. It wasn't like colored around the edges. It wasn't fuzzy. It was just like, yeah, here's your night vision. You can see in the dark, and screw everyone else who can't. So I don't know. I think it's a fun, kind of a gimmicky game mode, but I don't see it really being like a competitive game mode, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I would enjoy it. Like, I'm saying, if they added it, I would like to play it and try it, but I don't think it's going to be anything mind-blowing or groundbreaking.
Yeah. And so now we've got a big mobile update straight from ITT Tom, education for your mobile future.
Yes, he's kind of the ringleader of mobile. I love it.
He is. It's fantastic. He played with us the other day on Xbox as well. It was pretty great. So
Nice.
Tom says this is the last week for Season 2 Royal Pass missions with only a few days remaining. So be sure to team up where you need to do squad matches or add a clanmate as a friend to complete that one. Also, if you have a Season 2 RP points in your inventory, use them soon or get stuck with them, and they are worthless moving forward. Level 3 is within reach, and then we can get that clan jacket swag.
Boom.
If you are just parked there and not really into playing the mobile version right now, it might be more beneficial right now if we make room for the players that can help us push the daily clan challenges. I feel like he's aiming that at me.
Maybe that's possible.
Yeah, no,
It's
I'm
very
pretty sure.
possible.
No, I mean, do you think he doesn't like me?
I think you haven't played the mobile game in about a month, so yeah, I would say.
Yeah. How
You're on
many
the
times have you
short
played the
list.
mobile game there, Dan?
I'm not in the clan, so
I'm just asking how many times you play mobile. I'm not judging. I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
I just played it once. I played it once, and it was great. I enjoyed it, but I just felt like it was just too long. Game modes were too long.
He also
That was
said,
Yoda, by the way. I don't know if you caught that. It was a horrible Yoda impression. When he's in Star Wars, when I don't know which one it is, but of course, when Yoda's in Star Trek, of course he's in Star Wars, idiot. That isn't my internal dialogue. When he's like, he is too old. I cannot train him anymore. That's what that was from. Continue, please. I just cracked myself up.
Anyway, there's a free parachute that you're around on the interwebs. It might be just those who have linked the game to Facebook, but if you watch the lower right side of your screen in the main entrance point, you'll see the pan deal when the social thing and then agents assemble. If you click on that and choose the lower button, there are 3 challenges to complete, and you will get the Mission Impossible parachute. You can also invite friends from Facebook and get gear, but I'm not the guy who spams friends, so I passed on that one. LOL. ... Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple mobile clans active right now. I think we have 2 because we hit the max limit on the first one. So if you're in there and you're playing every day, hell yeah, keep it up. If you're not and just don't really find joy in the mobile game anymore, if you mind backing out and getting some other people in there, because I know we have a couple people asking to be a part of it. So give up your seat for someone else, and I'm sure they would be very appreciative of that. It sounds like it's sort of a group activity, I guess, where everyone is involved. All of your efforts sort of help the clan level up together. You get sick swag together. So keep pushing, guys, and talk to Tom if you have any questions about that. He seems to be the one who's sort of taking charge and building up the clan and making sure that everyone is completing those daily challenges.
Beautiful.
Yoda says there is no try, only do. Yoda from Star Trek.
All right. Question of
The week.
It's the question of the week.
Questions and you answer it. It's the question.
It's the question of the week.
Boom. All right. And the question was, Cody, please enlighten the folks.
Now that Miramar has been out for a while, why do you prefer it over Erangel? And for PC, why is Savage the best map in the game?
All right. And now comes the time where I quiz you because I did my homework. I put a little time into the show notes this week. Lols. And I totally tallied up all of the preferences of everyone who said Erangel or Miramar. What do you think the split was? Do you think more people preferred Erangel
or
Miramar?
Easy.
And how far? How much, though? If I said, let's see.
I want to say, well, how many people answered?
14 people. 14 responses from the Xbox
There were
guys.
3 people that liked Miramar more than Erangel. It's a very long, dramatic pause.
Because I was trying to do math in my head.
You said you already tallied it.
Well, I didn't tally it like that. Yeah.
What other way is there to tally?
The way you phrased it threw me off, okay? All right. So 4 people liked Miramar more than Erangel.
That's unbelievable.
Yep. Which is way more than I expected. We had 7 people say Erangel, 4 people say Miramar, and 3 of you couldn't make up your minds.
You don't count.
You don't count. There is no such thing as middle of the ground.
All right, so let's run through some of these.
Let's do it.
Point Click Dead says, no!
That's another Star Trek reference when Luke is hanging off the thing and he cuts his arm off. See? I knew it would come back around. I knew it.
He says Erangel is much better. Everything that I didn't want is in Miramar. No cover. Vehicle required. Cities have 1,000 windows. You have to have a scope. No good exclusive weapons. It's too big. It's too big. I will play on it, but I believe it to be the inferior of the current maps. I could play Erangel for another 6 months and be fine. If I could only play Miramar, I would stop playing. I get irritated playing it 5 times in a row. Sorry for ranting, but Miramar blows.
Miramar blows. I agree with everything you've said, 100%, especially the point of getting irritated playing it 5 times in a row. I could play Savage all night long for 3 nights straight and not get sick of it. But I'd get mad if I get Miramar 3 times in a row.
What does Colonel Ping say?
I'll give him my best impression here. I don't know what it's going to be or what this accent's going to turn into, so I apologize to everyone who I've insulted by my horrible accents.
I hope it's like a drunk Colonel Mustard.
For me, Miramar is different.
Or Morgan Freeman.
I told you I didn't know it was going to come out. Because I'm still going into areas I've never been. The size of it tends to mean you will get final circles and a greater variety of places than Erangel. But as Ross said to Rachel, after the girl at the copy house, how old is that now, by the way? A copy house? Nobody likes change. But I'm excited for what happens next in September to keep it fresh.
I love that your accent changed throughout that whole thing.
I turned into the guy from that Star Trek movie. Hello, come back around. Oh, what's that guy's name? He's also in Fallout as the president. I think it's Star Trek Generations. Hold on, we're googling Generations voice actor. What is his name? He has a very accurate, not accurate, but you immediately know Malcolm McDowell. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Malcolm McDowell. That was who I ended up being at the end. He's also in the Fallout games as the president. Anyway, what did Colonel Pink say? I just read it. I didn't even follow what he said. Miramar is different. The size of it tends to mean you get final circles and a greater variety of places. But he doesn't like change. So yeah, sounds like Colonel Ping is on the side of Erangel, unless I read that completely incorrectly. But it sounds like he's looking forward to Sanhok as well. Want to take Jammy Jams? Give me your best Jammy impression.
Hi, I'm Jammy. Jammy thinks the concept of Miramar is great. Vertical terrain, bigger city buildings, the Western theme. It just doesn't work for gameplay, though. Although the endgame circles do make a difference to the usual hide behind a tree trunk Erangel approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a good point.
Totally fair.
Yeah. This is where vertical terrain sort of started, and I think Sanhok sort of like totally cranked it up to like 20 and then ripped the knob off on verticality. There's some cliffs in that map that are like sheer and about 10 stories high that make for some pretty interesting end games with the circles being up close next to them.
Yeah.
Ray says, I prefer Miramar over Erangel. Interesting. It seems like there's more action at the start of the game because the cities are more concentrated, whereas with Erangel, people spread out a bit more unless you're hot dropping, and then it can be too much.
I mean, he's right about the cities. So the cities are so congested that you try to move around more to get through all the rooms, but you will run into fights unless you're landing out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like Hacienda, but that's the same thing when it comes to Paradise Resort too on Sanhok, is that like there's just so much to explore there. You're going to run into somebody.
Yeah. I think like the mid game of Miramar is just dead, so that makes it so it seems like the beginning of Miramar is so hot. But I think in the reality is like the beginning of Miramar, the hot drops are not any hotter than any other map. Mm-hmm. But the cities are very concentrated, and we have very obvious hot drops like Hacienda and Picado specifically are the two that I'm thinking of that are ultra hot. But after that, after you get past the first 10 minutes or 5 minutes of the game, it's like nothing.
The plane path is not accommodating to move quickly.
Nope.
So like you will all land in different places, and then all of a sudden you're
spread apart.
You're so much further apart because you have to traverse the hills.
Yeah. I mean, that said, I am kind of shitting on Miramar, but like that said, I do like the terrain. I think
It was a little refreshing to
different.
play
It's
it on the
refreshing.
Xbox for sure, because I haven't played it in so long.
Yeah. And I like how the end games play out. It's exciting, but the problem is it just takes so long to get to that end game.
Yep.
It gets boring.
So Mr. Stud says, I definitely don't prefer Miramar over Erangel, but I don't hate it either. I do enjoy the variety of locations, the fact that you don't have to cross bodies of water involuntarily, and the rugged terrain, but sometimes the sprawling desert and the size get redundant. I don't think it would be much of an issue if there were a more consistent rotation of maps. Playing both for several consecutive matches can get kind of old.
Yeah. I think it's a good map to have in rotation. I do, but it's just, it happens too often when it's your one of two maps. It's your 50% chance of getting this every single game. Once you have like 4 maps, love it. Like, let's play it 3 times in a night instead of 8 or 9 times in a night.
Yep.
I can get behind that.
Enemy of the Day Man says,
I like both maps. Prefer Erangel just because I've probably played it 5 times more and I know every bit of it like the back of my hand. Right there with you. The thing that I don't like is getting one of the maps 10 times in a row. That seems to be a common theme here. That's the reason for me they have to bring individual map selection, not Miramar and Erangel together, and Sanhok separate, like they have in PC. I want to play a couple on one map and then move on to the next map for a couple of games. Yep. Yeah, I mean, and they don't even know if they're going to add map selection. Maybe they will eventually. I think they're probably waiting to see the numbers, get more people on the platform, maybe. I'm just making things up, but it sounds like that's a possibility. We'll see. And now I need to give you, you need to just nail this. Tell me a bedtime story, Cody.
Miramar versus Erangel, Xbox One. Erangel was where, for the first time, we parachuted gently from a plane, full of fear, trepidation, and excitement about this new battle royale. Erangel was where we picked up weapons, attachments, and ammo, wondering what went with what and how it all worked. Erangel was where we wandered, naive and curious, across green fields and wooded glens, discovering new places, new vistas, and new secrets. In Erangel, we marveled at the sunken city, the ruins and abandoned military base, and towns devoid of people, but with a myriad of clothes, costumes scattered around. In Erangel, we laughed at the blue, driving our bikes and cars from one side of the map to the other at breakneck speeds, not caring for the red, confident that we could always get wherever we wanted to go if we just drove fast enough. In Erangel, we first experienced the adrenaline rush of top 3 finish and perhaps the sweet relief of our first chicken dinner. In Erangel, we learned to hot drop, to snipe, to play the edge, to flank and snake. Erangel was our childhood. But in Miramar, we had to grow up fast. In Miramar, the towns became cities. In Miramar, the hills became mountains. In Miramar, the cars became muscle cars. In Miramar, we could no longer hide behind trees or crouch inside bushes. In Miramar, we had to use the lay of the land to cover our movements. In Miramar, we learned what a defilade really was. In Miramar, we stopped playing games and started to fight for real. In Miramar, we discovered what Battle Royale truly meant. In Miramar, boys became men.
It's so good.
That was
truly a poet. Truly a poet.
That's fantastic.
God, so good. We got to get some more Scale Speeder on the show ASAP.
Yep.
And now we can play with them on Xbox together. How cool is that?
We can. It's very exciting.
A lot of chatter after that. Dotwill says, Miramar was worse before they fixed a lot of the issues. Having a muscle car to drive quickly to the zone is a godsend. They reduced the size of the big cities and incentivized, I believe you meant to say, the outside of the map as well.
Yeah. He said, once you get Savage, you'll want to rotate Miramar sometimes. Savage is like 10 to 15-minute games, whereas Miramar's 30+, which is 100% accurate. Yeah.
Definitely. Let me take Deathcoat Betty here. This is a good one. Mm-hmm. Aside from the assorted technical issues that each map exhibits individually, they each have their own mechanics as well and must be approached in slightly, if not drastically, different manners. And what this means to me is needed variety. So to actually answer the question, I prefer Erangel for 3- and 4-man squads due to the opportunity for fix and flank maneuverability to include different ways to approach an encounter. Hard to get an edge in this fashion when dropping Miramar when outside a city. Seems like the circle and not skill is the larger factor sometimes. However, for duos and solos, I do prefer Miramar for the opposite reasons I prefer Erangel squads. It's the more primitive map and is somewhat in your face, if not slow attrition can really only be truly enjoyed through being the master of your own destiny. Besides, if I have to agree to hot drop squads at East San Martin, hit billboard building, and then move to projects one more time, I'm going to join a convent. Ha ha ha, just kidding. Pull your socks up, Dano. Let's fucking rage. Every time I turn on my stream, Betty's there to say, pull your socks up. I love it. Beautiful. Thanks for those words, Betty.
Then we had more chatter. Josh says, Miramar is cool. You can use hills as cover, but items are spaced far apart. And if you know the general idea where all vehicles spawn, you're normally okay. But to play 30 plus minutes in a match and still have a lot of downtime is not that much fun.
Yep. Nailed it.
Yep.
When what you guys are missing out on, if you don't hit up the Discord, is a whole bunch of discussions about where the best places to drop are on Miramar if you want to drop safe but still get good loot. So check those out. A lot of those were on the west side of the map, west of El Pozo, and some in the outskirts of Los Leones are also good drop spots. So but there's also some more discussion here, but I can't go into all of it.
Yep.
Next up, we have Tagonist. Says, there are things that I prefer about both maps. I like the rough terrain of Miramar. It's fun to grab a motorcycle and jump around like Excite Bike, and makes for some very interesting battles. It makes you rethink the way you use cover. I personally prefer the general size of Erangel. It's a lot harder to get screwed by the circle. I also like being able to utilize the water. I really don't have a favorite, but I also don't like playing either one over and over again. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. What's interesting is that Miramar, if I remember correctly, and Erangel are the same size. It's the same number of squares, same square kilometers, but there's so much more water in Erangel that the actual playable area in that map, the landmass, is a lot smaller.
And the ability to traverse hills and mountains, like it gives you more mileage to go vertical and then, descend and then go vertical again.
Exactly. You're not going all the way up and down. You're just going straight across. And you can never take your hand off of the turbo button. You can just gun it the entire way. Finally, we have a PC player chiming in. Not with much, but he chimes in other ways. Clay, one of the resident esports experts. I think he's firmly cemented himself as the esports expert in our channel with his 2,100 word essay. Sanhok is the best mini Royale map, he says. I think he's sort of making you read between the lines there, but we'll see. We'll see what that means.
Slithery D, new hot dropper, comes in. It's Call Me Classic, but I like Erangel over Miramar. There seems to be a lot more opportunities in Erangel and more diverse fights, where Miramar is just a lot of open desert, where the way to win is just to hide on a mountain and pick off players out in the open. In Erangel, however, people could be in the water, in the trees, or in the houses to win. Erangel has so many zone situations too. Unlike Miramar, in Erangel, you don't have to be the first person in the last zone to win. It helps to be able to play different ways and makes the game more fun. It seems that on Miramar, it gets repetitive, where you just have to rush people for their vantage point in the zones. I still like Miramar, but it's still a fun map to play on, but I like Erangel better.
All of these descriptions are like, I'm just agreeing with everyone. I like all of these points. Let me try to pronounce this name.
No lemon, no melon.
No lemon, no melon. But every other letter is capitalized, so it's really difficult to see what they're saying. Savage is the best due to the fact you can always find a gun. Point blank, period. Full stop.
Yeah. Slaint Griffin?
Is that an Irish word or Gaelic word? I guess.
I don't know.
I think it means something.
Google it.
I'm Googling. I'm not Irish. Yeah, it's a basic form of Irish Gaelic. It's like a toast. It means like good health or cheers, I think. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what Wikipedia says. It's a word.
Wikipedia's always right.
Literally translating as health in Gaelic. Healthy Griffin.
Griffin 4. I will take Miramar over Erangel every day of the week. But with that said, they are both nothing compared to the top-tier satisfaction of Savage Funky Chicken Sanhok. Sanhok is the size of what every PUBG map should be, and I can't imagine them going back to a 6x6 or whatever the winter map ends up being. It's got to be a 4x4, right?
I think it's 6x6. I think they did announce it as 6x6.
I would accept a 6x6. However,
not 8x8, please.
Do not go to an 8x8. Healthy Griffin 4 nailed it on the head.
Joe Wilson, a name I haven't seen in a while, but is back at it because he wants to play some fantasy football with us. I love it. Which, by the way, if you guys are interested,
fantasy football, hot drop fantasy football.
Get in the Discord. It's happening. American football, by the way, not soccer. not the real football. Savage is the best just because of the circles. Yeah, Savage has dynamic circles. How could you not love that? Yeah. They change they speed up based on the number of people still alive. It's awesome. It's brilliant. Rosie.
First, he quoted us. He says, "Why is Savage the best map in the game? Loot. By far the best thing about Savage is the loot table. It's rare to drop somewhere and not get at least the basic loadout. If you drop in a named area, you'll be equipped enough to take fights. Go back to Erangel or Miramar, and you can drop in some of the even named places. Finding loot quickly and easily is tough." He dropped him from Morsk with a squad last week. Took 5 minutes to get everyone at least full level 1 gear, and even then, they were low on ammo and decent quote-unquote big boy guns. We dropped on Miramar. We looted 3 different towns. We were still under geared 10 minutes in, no vehicles, spent the entire time running. Savage is by far a quicker, better game. The circles are quick. The blue is vicious and promotes moving and fighting. You don't need a vehicle to move around. Worst case, if you're on the diagonally opposite side of the map in the first circle, you spend too long looting, you could have a problem, but you can outrun the first circle with ease.
Yeah.
And we've played a bunch with Rosie, and even if we drop at Lockawai on the east coast, you can make it all the way across the water to the other island. No problem.
Without a car.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the one map where we probably one game out of every 3 use a car. If that. 5.
Not even.
One game, 1 out of 5. 1 out of 7.
Let's make it 10.
Let's make it 10. Rip the knob off. That's my favorite saying. Yeah, no, it's the loot tables and it's the speed and it's the fact your car is not a necessity, for sure, unlike Miramar. The Downward Spiral says Miramar demands a high skill set due to churn out... Sorry, repeat that. Miramar demands a high skill set to churn out dinners. It forces you to make perfect decisions and it demands high accuracy. A bad decision normally results in a wipe. Sure, you may find a little divot in the landscape, defilade if you will, but you're going to have to leave and push someone eventually. How well are you going to push will determine if you get victory or if you get sent back to the lobby early. Erangel allows for some mistakes to happen. You can make a bad push, escape into some trees, into some farm fields, into a house, etc. You can be a snake in the grass and take pot shots at an opponent. He says he likes both maps, but he prefers a challenge, so he's going to go with Miramar.
Oh, Downward. Interesting.
Very interesting. I didn't expect that. Came out of nowhere with that Miramar preference.
Salty Prune Wagon. It depends on the mood. If I'm looking for more of a sneak around and chill type of game, I'd prefer Erangel, but sometimes I just want to grab a sniper and feed on some kills that way. So Miramar would be ideal for that, but when it comes down to it, I'd probably choose Erangel over Miramar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, ITT Tom coming in with the 2-time.
I always choose both maps. Interesting. He likes them both.
He likes the randomness to it. He feels the same thing about Xbox. However, not part of the question of the week. It would be nice to have access to change your clothing items once the map is shown.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. The clothing loadouts, why not? We have weapon skin loadouts. Why not clothing loadouts?
Neato. Cool. Survivor Lad. Dano?
I like both maps as long as there are alternating maps. I play on Xbox, and I really dislike on weekends going 12 games back-to-back on Miramar.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. And before there was map selection, we used to back out of games constantly. But on the Xbox, where it takes you a couple minutes to load in, it's a little bit more overhead to do that.
Yep.
RP255106. I pretty strongly prefer Miramar at this point on Xbox, having 6 months of playing Erangel only. I like how Miramar still feels new, and there are still locations I haven't explored yet. I also prefer everyone having to use the elevation changes on the desert terrain as opposed to just peeking from behind trees or pretending to be a snake in the grass. I've had with those I just read this for the first time. I've had it with those mother effing snakes and the mother effing grass.
That's funny.
Samuel L. Jackson, Snakes on a Plane.
Thanks everybody for your input in the question of the week this week. I think this is incredibly helpful. Just to know how you guys feel about the game, keep going. And Dan, you can tell me if this is a stupid one or not, but I think this week's question of the week should be your preferred custom controller layout for Xbox, if you could switch it, and your most useful hotkey combination on PC that you use.
Ooh, I love it. So that is, do you use controller preset A or B on Xbox?
No. What would you use when you can have custom configurations?
Okay.
And then for PC, what do you use for a hotkey that is different?
Gotcha. Okay. So we'll post that in the room to make sure it's very clear, because I totally botched that. Yeah, tell us what your I like the custom key combination on PC is, because I'm always looking for some advantage or some new keybind to try out.
I like simplified processes, so give me something new, give me something fun, give me something that's quick.
Yeah, cool, nice, love it.
Get in there. That was it. Now we make the hotline bling. It can only mean one thing.
You have new messages.
Tom Brady just turned 41 today. That's a fact. Yep. And PUBG's, it sucks on Xbox, but I play it.
I just wanted to say that I hope Matthew Eugene Von Doom wins the top 10 contest this week. Because I want his puppy's face to be a Discord emoji.
The radio just came on, and the song reminded me of you. My FaceTime finally worked, because I couldn't feel my FaceTime when I'm not with you. I couldn't feel my FaceTime when I'm not with you. I know you're playing on the phone. Just kidding, on the computer was Dan, and you don't wanna answer the phone. I think Lemon Jones away. Hey, he's in London, but that's not gonna stop you from answering the phone. I doubt you're asleep. I drank whiskey tonight. Call me back if you have a chance. I really want pizza, but no one's here to get me any. There's a Little Caesars commercial on the television that makes me think about pizza. Yeah, baby, about pizza. Good night.